Hello and welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Aubrey Aquino. On this show, we feature the people, places, food, and farms that make California so delicious. Right now, I'm in East Los Angeles, where I'm learning about the origins of authentic birria and who was the first to introduce it to the Golden State.
There's about 500 pounds in here. It's actually a stew. It's big chunks of meat. What's unique about it is that you're able to get different cuts. So you got the leg bone, the rib bone, the neck bone, and it's different flavors, there's different textures, there's different, when you eat it, it's just creamier.
Traditional Mexican birria is made using goat and lamb.
So when you pick it up, it literally falls apart. It's different, it's chewy, it's softer, it's a different texture. You know, so we're trying to reintroduce it into the young generations that are coming up. It's much more richer and softer meat than beef is.
Originally a celebratory dish, birria was served at weddings and baptisms before becoming a staple in Mexican cuisine.
This dish goes back, hundreds of years, and is only eaten in once-in-a-lifetime events. For something to become culture, it has to be traditional. And we got a dish that's been around for hundreds of years, I would say, and we want to bring those back to the younger generations so they won't forget what it was or what it meant to their parents or grandparents.
At East LA's Birria Chalio, they serve the original traditional Birria de Chivo, that's with goat, and they've been doing it for more than 50 years.
My father brought it in the 1960s. He was part of the Bracero program, where they would bring people in to work in the farms. There was a chef there. He says, does anybody here know how to cook? My dad always says, I'm a cook, I know how to make birria. So what he would do in the 1960s, he was making birria for the people who worked in the farms. As he was making the birria there in the farms, he noticed that people who were in charge weren't eating it because it's goat. What is that? They had never had it before. And a chef took him under his wing and he tweaked his recipe, made it more pleasing to the eye. It was easier on the eye. He marinated it so it could look red. Now it was easier to eat because before they had no marination on it before. So that's how we brought it into the U.S. back in the 1960s. And then he began selling out of his house.
They're also credited with introducing this dish to Los Angeles and the United States in general.
When the migration patterns were happening from Mexico to the U.S., LA, especially East LA, was ground zero. People would come from LA and then move out to the different regions. So back in the 70s, this was where everybody came to East LA because that's where they were familiar with, people spoke Spanish. We were the first restaurant in LA who sold birria because back then no one sold it. We sold it out of our home. And he goes, wait a minute, if you were in LA, that means that you were the first in the United States. I go, you know what, you're probably right. I guess we were the first in the US to serve birria because LA was ground zero for people who were migrating from Mexico here. So that would be a regular dish.
Cooking the meat is a 10-hour process, but it's the consomme that sets it apart.
That broth, that's how you distinguish, that's their fingerprint, so to speak, for every location. So when you have the consomme, you can say, oh, this is different. And they're all different. That's what makes every birria unique. So when you have someone's birria, you're going to compare, oh, it tastes different. It's the consomme, not necessarily the meat. But there is a difference in the cooking technique. And you would add some cilantro to it. It wasn't a taco back in the day. So people who eat birria traditional, they'll come and get a plate. The younger generations, they'll eat the taco because that's what they were introduced to. So we're trying to get, you know what, you had the beef, try the goat, maybe you'll like it. See how that falls apart, look at it. We're here, we're promoting the birria. We want people to try it out. We're trying to rekindle that, and bring people back to what birria was originally set out for. So a lot of the new generations have forgotten what the cultural value of this dish is, and it's being forgotten.
Wow, looks delicious.
And before I left, Raul challenged me to a taste test outside with 2 types of birria, the goat and beef.
Okay, number one, the flavor, off the charts. Both really tender.
With beef hitting the mainstream and getting all this attention nationwide, it's actually opened doors for us. Now we have voice and we can tell people, hey, you had that, but you don't know there's a hidden secret. Like you go to a different, like In-N-Out, for example, they have the hidden menu. We have our own hidden, which is the goat. If you never had goat, then you never had birria before. So that's kind of a draw. You try to pull them in that way. So you know what? You had birria, but you haven't had the original. This is the original. That's a good forefront for us, so we can push it out to the people so they can try it out. And people try it out. Most people like it. Some people, we prefer the beef. But, you get a little bit of both, but we're bringing more people into trying out the goat, which is the original traditional birria.